Good evening. Today's one of those days that I just don't want to deal with news. There is so much of it that is just disheartening, I guess, would be a good word to put on it. I am glad it's my Friday. I really am. I don't know. There's just something about the news today that's just really kind of, It's a lot of different stuff. There's quite a bit of news that came out today. I've got, let me see here. 8 tabs open. And, crazy stuff. I could have put up a lot more tabs, but I was like, I'm going to try to make it an easy night if I can. And so, that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to just jump right into it. I really don't have anything in particular to talk about that I can think of. Not off top of my head. I'm sure things will come to me as I do the news. So, as usual. So anyway, we'll go ahead and head on over there and do that. So just to jump right off the bat here with the story that the show is titled after. Holy cow. This is insane. This is just absolutely insane. You see the headline, Florida transgender teacher removed from classroom over comments about students. Now, the headline itself doesn't seem that concerning now, does it? It doesn't to me. It's just, comments about students? Oh, okay, well, probably shouldn't gossip about the school children, right? Not so quick. A story about a Hernando County teacher who's been removed from a middle school after talking about wanting to shoot students has all the elements to make it take off on the internet. It's got threats of violence, upset parents, confusion between the school district and sheriff's office, and the teacher is undergoing hormone treatment to transition gender. At first, the district allowed the teacher back into the school, saying no one was ever in danger. As more details emerged, parents got angry. Soon, the State Department of Education got involved. Okay, now, there's much more here on it, and it's actually a pretty lengthy article here. But apparently, this just wasn't just willy-nilly kind of... This individual apparently did own firearms, and at one point retrieved them. I do believe it said that they retrieved them. Let me try to find it. I don't want to misspeak. Okay. New information. I'm trying not to read stuff I don't have to. However, the same information had already been made available to the district in the initial incident report. An RPO is a document that petitions the court to order an individual who may be at risk to themselves or others to relinquish all of their firearms for a set period of time. It is unclear from the statement what was specifically new information to the district. As the original HCSO report stated that firearms were confiscated on the day of the incident, Hernando's son has requested clarification from the school district. So this teacher, yeah, it's out there talking to me. Yeah, a little bit, but it's nothing. Let me check just to make sure. Nothing, making sure nothing blew up that I'm unaware of that's It's just a little bit of the back end of the system that's kind of blowing back up a little bit. So, anywho, back to the article. This is crazy. I'm gonna start asking the question, and I'm gonna keep asking the question. This is gonna be one of those things you hear me say over and over and over. When can we start talking about mental illness? And I'm just going to ask that question every single damn time that this type of nonsense is in the news. Because, I'm sorry, but when you start out with mental illness, guess what you're going to end up with if you don't treat said mental illness? In fact, if you encourage it, it can and often does have drastic results. There's plenty of studies in history and everything else to prove that. When I see what's going on in our society today, and with the knowledge of what information it is that we do have, the only conclusion that you could draw is that what is going on, what they are doing, is targeted and intentional. There are individuals that know the precise ways, manners, and methods in order to destroy a society. And that is what is going on. Look, we don't need some new information to know what's at the root of this. We've known it for years. We used to talk about it. We used to treat it. Now we encourage it. We fund it. We do everything we can, and when I say we, I'm not talking about you and I, clearly. But they are doing everything they can to normalize it. It's crazy. I mean, I didn't really mean the pun, but if the shoe fits, lace that bitch up. Talking about other crazy people and old senile bats. I mean, wait. Did that come out of my mouth? I thought it was just a thought. She's like a crow, ain't she? Janet Yellen. She looks like a crow to me. All right. Biden is willing to damage U.S. economy to counter China, says Yellen. Well, I appreciate you letting us know about that. I'm pretty sure, as a result of the past few years, I'm pretty confident that you're correct. That Biden is absolutely willing to damage the U.S. economy. Hell, not even to counter China. He just, I don't know, maybe he gets his ice cream cheaper. I don't know. Maybe he gets to sniff more kids. I don't know. But apparently he will stop at nothing to protect America against security threats posed by China, even if the actions he must take damage his own nation's economy, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has claimed. So, in order to be good patriots, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go bankrupt and live on the streets and eat out of dumpsters, okay? So, in order to better the global economy, we have to live in tents, eat out of dumpsters, and remember to pay our taxes. With a smile. Because there's going to be a charge and there's auditing and everything else, even if you kind of look at them funny. This is crazy. And this is why all of these things, all of these cases, I step back. You don't see me jump up on either side until information starts coming in. And, I'm even going to be honest on this. I didn't really jump on this particular incident either way. But I figured there was probably a fairly good chance that the dude took a shot at cops. I'm going to be honest. That's what I thought. But it was my thought. It was my opinion. It was not something that I felt enough to say, oh yeah, this guy shot at cops. No, remember, I'm the one tired of getting beat by the same spot on the learning curve. I already know this game. But I kind of figured everything else involved, meaning Antifa and nicknames like Tortuguita, or however that's said. I kind of figured that he might have popped a round off at cops. Apparently not. Which has me asking all kinds of other questions. So it says here, Manuel Esteban Paz Turan, the activist killed by Georgia State Patrol officers during a cleaning operation targeting protesters camped out on the site of Atlanta's hotly contested Cop City Public Safety Training Center, died from 57 bullet wounds and did not fire a weapon, according to an autopsy report from the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office released on Wednesday. And yes, they would know whether or not he fired a round. The protester, known as Tortuguita, and I'm probably saying it wrong, was shot in the head, chest, legs, and hands, with some bullets leaving multiple holes and others remaining in the body. A total of 14 bullets and fragments were recovered. The autopsy results contradict multiple use of force reports submitted by police who claim Turan fired a weapon at the state trooper when police tried to remove the 26-year-old from a tent during the January 18 raid. Turan, they said, refused to leave before the officers fired pepper ball grenades into the area, then supposedly opened fire, hitting a cop in the abdomen and triggering return fire from 6 officers. While the Smith & Wesson handgun that wounded the officer was allegedly purchased by Turan in 2020, the absence of gunpowder residue on the activist's hands, clothes, or any other body part indicates that Turan did not actually fire the weapon. Documents supposedly tying the weapon to Turan have not been made public. We were devastated to learn that our child, Sweet Manny, was mercilessly gunned down by police and suffered 57 bullet wounds all over their body, the activist's mother, Belkis Turan, said in a press release on Wednesday. A private autopsy paid for by the family proved inconclusive, as the body had already been thoroughly dissected by the county in order to remove over a dozen bullet fragments. The examination showed Turan had been shot 13 times and died with hands raised, though the reason for the pose was not clear. No body camera footage exists of the shooting. While Georgia State troopers do not wear body cameras, several other law enforcement agencies were involved in the raid, and some activists have argued that footage released from Atlanta Police Department body cams points to the officer Turan supposedly shot having been victim of friendly fire. So this would not be the first case of that happening. So we'll see. You know what? There have been so many cases to where it's turned up that guns found at the scene, possessed by the suspect, were planted there. And it happens way too damn often for me to jump to say otherwise. I don't trust any of it. Not a bit of it. It's a shame, though. It's a shame. It's a shame that people can't get answers. They can't get facts. Because of all the dishonesty, because of... It's just blows my mind. It really does. And what is even worse than that, on top of just this being nonsense of its own, but people politicize it. And it becomes a blue team, red team thing. Death is not a blue team, red team thing. Being killed, being lied about, not a blue team, red team thing. It's just sad that this stuff, that's the only way that anybody ever wants to discuss this stuff. We have to politicize it. We have to make it, one viewpoint's got to be this side, the other viewpoint's got to be that side, politically. And that's just not the case. Why can't we just look at facts? It just blows my mind. I do not understand this society, and I will never understand this society. You know, there's somebody else that's... I'm trying to think of the right words to use, the right language. I want to use the word distraught, and if I'm misusing that word, or if I'm misrepresenting the gentleman I'm going to be speaking of in any way, my apologies. But Ammon Bundy right now is, again, distraught's not the right word. Frustrated, I know, but that doesn't quite touch it either. So this hospital, right, because he railed against CPS and helped the family with their child. And now the hospital is trying to sue Ammon for millions of dollars. And, you know, Ammon's just like, I'll give you everything. I have my truck, my tools, I'll give you everything. But the deal is, leave me alone. I give you everything I own. And then from there on out, you leave me alone. This is bullshit, what is going on in this country. Absolute bullshit. On so many levels, in so many ways. Voting is not going to fix it. What's going to fix it? I don't know. When are we going to grow some balls? When are we going to... God, I hate to say this. When are we going to be like the French? You know, I'm talking about the current French, the ones that are kicking ass and taking names. When? Because these folks aren't playing around. They really aren't. The different places that they've already hit is just crazy. And they're not letting up. Not even a little bit. Hell, we aren't anywhere to their level. And the reason why I point that out is because you see all the hell they're raising. Their government's not budging a bit. They give zero shits. So whenever it is that we decide that we may need to get off our asses and, I don't know, let them know that we're a little upset, we're still going to have a ways to go before they give a shit. If they ever do. The longer we wait, they won't. They won't need to. Hell, they'll already have us crushed. We're pretty much there now. Anyway, so you see it, French protesters storm the stock exchange. Say they're not having it. I'm having a drink of coffee though. Alright. I don't know what that was. Anywho. Elon Musk. His spaceship went boom. But that's not necessarily bad news. Question mark? Hyphen? Or not hyphen, exclamation. So the lady, after it was detonated, because they blew it up. It didn't blow up on its own. They intentionally blew it up because it was having an issue. But the lady had said that anything past it leaving the launch pad was cream on top. What their mission objected, or consisted of, was making sure it would get off the launch pad, essentially. I don't know what all that entailed. That's just what she said. I mean, she had to be brief, But anyway, because I watched it, Phil Busardo is a guy that I know from vaping from many, many years ago. He had actually went live this morning and live streamed it. And so I watched it on his stream. And it was amazing to watch. Now, Phil said that he noticed, or he thought he noticed, that not all the engines ignited, I guess on the second stage, in which I guess that would have caused problem with separation, because there was no separation. It didn't separate like it was supposed to. So they made the decision to pull the plug and detonate it so it wouldn't be a threat to anyone. And they were successful. That's I mean, of course they didn't necessarily want to blow the damn thing up, but what they wanted to achieve, they did. So and Glenn Beck talked about this, and I guess the weight of this rocket really didn't set in until hearing him talk about it. I think it was Glenn Beck. Pretty sure it was Glenn Beck. But this will enable our space program to do all kinds of incredible stuff. It will allow them to get a rocket ready to go in a matter of, I do believe they said hours. Be able to get everything ready to go again. That's incredible. This will enable them to be able to not only to put something up on the moon, so that we could maybe have a little station up there or something, but this type of technology would allow us to even go out further from the moon, make the moon an actual true moon base, to where we actually ship supplies up there and everything to the moon, where we can fuel rockets and ships up there in space, so they don't have to use all the fuel that's needed to escape Earth's magnetism. I know, gravity. I'll call it magnetism, thank you. And be able to go into space. They'll just be able to leave right from the moon and be able to make it much, much further without having to expend all that extra fuel. Just tons of things. Like I say, just being able to supply a moon base, it would make it so much better. I think it was broke down, and I think what he said was it was either 54 or 57 cents an ounce is what it broke down to. In order that would be the cost, because that's the big thing when it comes to anything aviation, but even more so when you're talking about space travel. For every ounce, that's a big cost, as far as an additional cost. So they always had to watch weight very, very, very closely. And so now, that's not going to be so much of a concern. This is cool. This is big news. I've always loved science. I've always loved space. I've always loved stuff like this. So, when I see it, it's incredible. So, yeah, his rocket blew up. Absolutely did, but it was blown up. It didn't just blow up on its own, and what they set out to do, they achieved. So I want to make that really clear, because I know that, certain politically leaning news outlets are making it sound like a total failure, and it wasn't. It was actually a total success, to be honest. Major German airports come to standstill amid strikes. Let's see. A strike by aviation security personnel paralyzed airports in the German cities of Dusseldorf, Hamburg, and Cologne on Thursday, with the action expected to be expanded to other airports on Friday. The trade union, Verdi, which is behind the walkout, is demanding pay raises to offset the rising cost of living. According to the Airport Association, ADV, some 100,000 passengers may be affected, with the number of canceled flights estimated at 700 during these 2 days. The Hamburg airport said in a statement that the situation is calm, adding that the departure terminals are empty. In a press release on Wednesday, the union also called on security personnel at Stuttgart Airport to stage a full-day warning strike on Friday, April 21st, 2023. It went on to describe how Verdi has been engaged in talks with Germany's Federal Association of Flight Security Companies, BDLS, for years. It demands that the remuneration for those working for the night shift, weekends, and public holidays, as well as overtime, be increased. However, its efforts have so far given no breakthrough, the union wrote. According to the press release, BDLS has refused to offer any improvements in terms of pay for security personnel working on Saturdays and Sundays. Verdi also took issue with the association's reluctance to pay more for overtime. We call on BDLS to finally present a negotiable proposal during the negotiations on April 27th and 28th in order to prevent further strikes, the union stated. So, see how that turns out. Man, people are tired of getting pissed on, I think. I normally don't cover. Well, in fact, the last 2 tabs I have open involve entertainment, and I normally don't cover entertainment, so. But this particular article kind of grabbed my attention. Not because I listen to K-pop, nor do I listen to South Korean singers named Moonbin, but apparently this guy was found dead in a apparent suicide. Okay, and so I get a lot of questions pretty quick during stuff like this, and some of them include why. I mean, now don't misunderstand. I get it. I understand the mental status of a lot of entertainers. That's just a fact. But usually you don't see things happen to this degree. And what do I mean by this degree? Well, because this isn't the only one. Apparently, there's been an issue of it. Moonbin, a member of K-pop boy band Astro, has reportedly been found dead at his home, becoming the latest in a long line of South Korean entertainers who died by apparent suicide. Anybody else just not like how that's worded? And they do it again, by the way. Moonbin's manager went to his apartment in the posh Gangnam district of Seoul on Wednesday evening after being unable to contact the 25-year-old singer, and found his unresponsive body, according to reports by Yonhap News and other South Korean media outlets. Police, who found no evidence of foul play, say it appeared that he took his own life. An autopsy may be conducted to confirm his exact cause of death. Moonbin suddenly left us and became a star in the sky, the singer's management agency, Fantasio Group, said in an announcement. It is incomparable to the sorrow of the bereaved families who left their beloved sons and brothers, but all Astro members, Fantasio colleagues, and executives and employees are deeply mourning the deceased in such a great sadness and shock. A funeral for Moonbin will be held as quietly as possible, with only family, friends, and company colleagues attending, the agency said. I sincerely ask you to refrain from speculative and malicious reports so that the bereaved families who are deeply saddened by the sudden sad news can reverently commemorate and greet the deceased. But it goes on to say Moonbin was best known for as a member of Astro, one of South Korea's most popular music groups. He started his entertainment career, blah, blah, blah. There was something else that I saw that caught my attention. Here we go. The singer reportedly took a break from performing in parts of 2019 and 2020, citing his health. Such K-pop stars such as Soli, Guhera, and Jonghyun have been found dead in recent years in confirmed or suspected cases of suicide. Soli took her own life in October 2019, reportedly because of online bullying. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. That's just not. Most of the time, you don't have to guess if it was suicide. I'm just saying. And to have so many individuals involved in the same industry, same area of the same industry, just seems a little bit odd. You know what else seems like a little bit odd? Getting away with murder. Getting away, what do I mean? Getting away with murder. That's what I mean, getting away with murder. Alec Baldwin dodges charges in Rust killing. Now, didn't some asshole of a host of a show, I can't remember his name though, didn't he say that this cat was going to walk with nothing? That prick. I wished I could remember his name. I knew with the way they were playing footsies with this guy that it was going to go to nothing. So what do we got? We got a cat that got charged, right? I can't remember his title. Production manager or something. I don't know. There was a cat that was charged, though. And then this cat gets to walk. So the cat with the least involvement is the one that gets charged, and the cat that literally pulled the trigger, go on home, buddy. You didn't mean it. It'd be okay. Don't you just love how that works? The more and more I don't see, let me word it that way, the more and more that I don't see, I think that cat went off in a fit of rage and shot her. I think that's exactly what happened there. Ain't nobody there want to say anything because, well, I mean, if you can shoot somebody right in the face with a gun and walk, it kind of has a little bit of an intimidation factor on individuals. Let's see. I've got some headlines. I reckon I can read them. Maybe not. But I will try to read them. Canada will never meet NATO spending demand, says Pentagon leaks. Okay. Well, I mean, they seem to be working with China well. So, there's that. Western countries dodging Russian oil ban, says a report. EU food prices continue to soar, says data. Now, check that out. Not only that, but then you've got in the UK, Britain sees steep income drop, says data. Now, I know these are two different regions, but the same thing is happening in both regions. So, NASA responds to Ukraine's satellite claim. I guess Zelensky wants more channels on his DirecTV. No, I don't know. Dozens crushed to death at charity event. Mercedes-Benz secures loophole for possible Russia return. And you're going to see this. You're going to see countries not countries. You're going to see, well, that too. You're going to see companies and countries backtrack when it comes to Russia. And you're going to start seeing that, I would say, pretty quickly, because they're going to really start solidifying sides. Let's see. Ex-Russian counter-spy chief reveals how Hitler tried to assassinate Stalin. A dollar losing reserve status at a stunning pace, says the Eurozone CEO. You don't say. Foreign firms leaving Russia face windfall tax, says Bloomberg. Facebook brand Seymour Hersh reporting false. Yeah, well, we already know about Facebook's reporting on the reporting, so. South Korea downplays claims it could arm Ukraine, says media. Russia has enough gas for a century, says Gazprom. That's kind of putting a little bit of salt in the wound there. Elon Musk threatens to sue Microsoft. Come on, do it. Fight. Come on. Hey, challenge Bill Gates to a death match in a cage fight. That would be fun. Doctors to go on trial for Maradona's death. EU done with Russia sanctions, says an official. Poland wants broader Ukrainian food ban, says media. A Saudi lawyer wants Ronaldo deported for public indecency. Russian inflation drops below 3%. Wished we could say that. Don't you wish we could say that? I do. A lot of countries do. Thanks, Biden. Let's see. Elon Musk's Starship explodes on... Oh, I covered that. We need a fact checker to fact check the fact checkers. Hey, I agree with that, Hexafus. Absolutely. Oh, man. Let's see. Relations with West won't improve, says Putin's special representative. Well, you know, if you want good relations with the White House, you have to give Biden an intern. You know, something Monica Lewinsky-ish, you know. And there'll be a lot of relations happening in the White House. It's, you know, you got to know how to work it. UK police condemned over arrest of French publisher. First blockbuster filmed in real space premieres in theaters. Remember when people were raising all kinds of hell over that during COVID? They went on some, yeah. Iranian Navy says it forced U.S. submarine to surface. Let's see. G7 mulling near total ban on exports to Russia, says Bloomberg. Major German... Oh, covered that one and that one. Europe is American pawn, says Turkey. I would agree. Coinbase. This is probably something to pay attention to, especially if you do the crypto thing. Coinbase threatens to leave the U.S. So if you do the crypto thing... You might want to look into all that, because I really don't know about that stuff enough to, you know, be able to give you an honest opinion on what's happening. U.S. seeks to transfer seized Russian assets to Ukraine. I mean, I'm not a big fan of crypto to begin with because, I mean, it's numbers on a computer screen. That's it. I'm not a fan of digital currency at all. Period. At all. I think it's good to have debit cards and stuff like that. That's fine. Being able to do like online that stuff is fine. But I think the day that we give up the dollar bill, meaning a physical dollar bill, we gave up everything. We gave up the very, very, very last ounce of our sovereignty. As individuals. Let's see. U.S. seeks to transfer seized Russian assets to Ukraine. EU visa deal for Kosovo discriminates against Serbs, says Belgrade. Covered that. BuzzFeed shuts down news arm. EU state bans World War II victory celebration. Massive projectile hits Russian city close to Ukraine border, says media. And at first I thought, oh, hell. Nah, they nailed themselves. It was an accident. Ukraine moves to seize Russian embassy property. Israel to test warning system in Ukraine, says media. So apparently they got a warning system that they're claiming has no ability to respond. It's just a warning system, and it has no way to activate any type of anti-missile defense systems or anything like that. Just warning, that's it. And they're going to test it out. So I'm sure we can trust them too. That it's just warning. It's just gonna blink some lights and go beep beep beep. You know, that's it. Nothing more. Ukraine moves to seize Russian embassy property. Wait, didn't I read a similar headline? Or did I just read that twice? Who knows? Oh, I read it twice because I'm a moron. Okay, moving on. Explosion in Russian city revealed as accident, says military. Covered that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. That's everything. That's like the whole damn day wrapped up in a show. I wasn't a fan of the news today. I really wasn't. We're really sliding downhill. I don't see a turnaround at all. And I don't expect there to be. I get it. I read the book. I know we don't turn it around. I don't know what the hell I'm expecting, really, to be honest. I mean, I really don't have anything in particular to expect, or, I'm kind of one of those play it as it lies kind of people. Just, I'm not going to over worry myself about things before I know what to worry about, and at the same time, I'm not going to ignore everything and put on rose-colored glasses. I want to do my best to find a happy medium to where I keep aware, but I don't let it rob my happiness, my joy. And to that I'm at a proficient level of preparedness when the time arises. So, about all any of us can do. No matter what happens, no matter which news bites us in the ass first, no matter how long it is before that happens, like I say, the answer stays the same for us. It always stays the same for us. Make sure you get prepared. Prepare for anything and everything that you can. Keep at it. No matter how big, no matter how small you have to do it, just keep at it. Put a smile on your face and understand that you're that much closer. And remember, we need to break this idea, this mindset that we can't let anybody know about preparedness. That is foolish. You need to be talking to people in your community. You need to be talking to those people that are most important to you. And for those that haven't heard me say that before, when I say the people that's most important to you, I mean the people that is in walking distance. Because after some type of major event that would leave us without a grid or, fuel or what have you, those are the people that you're going to be talking the most with and dealing the most with. So therefore, they are the people most important to you. You don't have to invite people into your home and show them your preps and tell them about every single canned good you've got. You don't have to do any of that. Right? You don't have to tell them, and you don't have to reveal anything about what you have. But you can most certainly be there with advice, with help, pointing them in the right direction, teaching about the mistakes that you had made so they don't have to go through the same thing. Look, SHTF is likely not going to be 2 or 3 days. It's going to be an extended event. It is just a matter of time before people figure out that you got something and that you prepared for it. It's only a matter of time. People act like they're going to keep this big mystery, right? And there are some people in some places that can. Don't mistake me. If you live out in the middle of BFE with nobody around for 50 miles, guess what? You're probably not going to see anybody. But the majority of us aren't in a case like that. Whether we're inside of a small town like we are here, or maybe even something a little bit more sparsely populated than this, you're still going to have people that notice. You're still going to have people that figure it out. So when that time comes that they notice and or figure it out, would you rather have already built a network of people up in town that also had the foresight to start putting back food and supplies? Or do you just want to say hell with that and just, hang out in your little hidey hole with your canned goods? It doesn't make sense to me. That's the American prepper logic just isn't there. Just not there. Talk to people. You don't have to tell them what you have or the extent in which you go. Just talk to people. It's gonna suck to watch good people wither away into nothingness. That's going to suck. If I can even get one of those people to start putting back some rice, some beans, some canned goods, I'm going to take that chance. Just the way it is. And I'm not putting myself a damn bit of risk anymore by doing so. Man. Hornet's nest is a freaking understatement. I'm not worried. And I'm enough of a prick that if I'm going to go down over my stuff's going with me. I'm just saying. Just saying. If I'm going, I'm taking it with me. Just the way it is, right? Just keep getting ready, because this shit's going to get ugly. Anyway, I hope you have a good weekend. God willing, we'll be back on Sunday doing it again, and I hope to see you then. I appreciate you coming tonight, and as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.